Humans, like every other species, are born differentiated. But in the 19th century, society said, we have a lot more people to educate. It's kind of expensive. What if we built an educational system that looked like a factory? And we did. Prior to that, all humans largely learned through apprenticeship, learned by doing real work, real things that have impact and meaning, proximate to experts and masters. We know how to do that in almost all the things that surround traditional school: co-curriculars, athletics, performing arts. But the core school looks like a factory. Why? Well, because it's a very efficient way, frankly, to organize the most expensive resource in a school, which is teacher time. It is not a great or most effective way to actually learn anything. It tends to disconnect the work of school from impact in the world. And there are times when learning for its own sake has a lot of value, but not a steady diet of it for 15 straight years. So what would school look like if it was organized around one very simple idea: the maximal individual growth of individual kids? What would you do differently? Well, one of the things you'd do differently is you would organize school about something that you think students would find meaning from, which is why the Master School of Hawken's program is largely organized around having students go out into the world, the local neighborhood, and try to help. The adults, who are masterful in their content domains, are always with them, but they also set up each of the neighborhood challenges. So by the type of problem you're trying to solve, you learn some math, you learn some science, you learn history. Turns out that real world problem solving, where there's a real organization or person on the other end who's actually hoping that you have some answers, you do something that traditional school has a very hard time doing, except in co-curriculars, which is you engage the emotional center of the brain. When you're emotionally resonant with what you're doing, the brain has a powerful capacity to remember things. So in mastery learning, standards are fixed and time and pathways are variable. In the traditional model, pathways and time are fixed and achievement is variable. If a group of students has A's, B's, and C's, they didn't learn the same amount, but it doesn't matter because the assembly line moves them down whether they learned it or not. We think if something's important to learn, you keep working on it till you master. In fact, one of our taglines is persist to mastery. The whole point of school is to do something purposeful. We believe that purposeful people are happier. We think purposeful people actually feel more successful. Purposeful people are useful to the world, and given that the school's motto is fair play, it's not just fair to yourself. There's a reciprocal obligation in fair play. It doesn't do them any good if we send them out in the world and they know a lot of stuff, but they don't know how to do anything. So it turns out in master school, when you spend 4 years out in the real world solving complicated, increasingly complex problems, you're pretty useful. And you know it, which means you have a lot of agency, of the capacity to go out and do things that most people are afraid of trying. That's the model. We're really proud of it.